Oh no. All right. Hey everybody, it's the Booze and BJJ podcast. It's the end of the week. It's Friday. You know what the deal is. I'm your host, Thomas. I'm very sleepy. I have snacks. I have a rum and coke. I trained this week. It was awesome. Sort of. Asterisks. Anyways, Frankie, how was your week? And what are you drinking if you're drinking?
Well, I'm taking over this podcast, and I'm shortly here. I'm not drinking anything today. Trying to keep it calm, and I could not train this weekend because I've been doing life stuff.
Understandable.
So, yes.
Wale, how's your week going?
It's going okay. I trained a little bit this week. Yeah, same thing. Life stuff usually gets in the way. I am drinking rum and coke also.
Did you do no
Ah,
did you do no gi this week by any chance?
Uh, yeah, I
No?
haven't been to do nogi. Yeah,
Uh,
I I should probably do more nogi stuff, but I just it's hard with my schedule, and then it's not. I don't enjoy it as much. I feel like I should probably dedicate like a solid month of just doing nogi so that I can get used to it and enjoy it more.
yeah, you have a doppelganger in no gi then, because I could have swore I saw you in the class on Tuesday in a video. Anyways, so glad to have you guys here. Frankie, the show is
okay.
yours.
So, um, I've been talking about more of like emotional and relationship and the Thomas here and there. So, what I want to do is I want to basically, how can we say this? Um, how does BJJ and relationships um, pair up? Like, how can I don't know.
Like how are they similar and how are they
Yes,
different?
how
Yeah.
they're similar, how they're different. Um, so, like from my experience, I believe martial arts and stuff like that is almost like a relationship, right? From the beginning to when you meet a first your first girlfriend to the person you pass away with, you know. But I want to see y'all views and thoughts about it on what y'all what y'all think and how does that you know how do they both compare to each other?
Yeah.
Wale, do you want to go first?
Um, I've never actually given that question a lot of thought. I guess I think in a way BJJ could be like a relationship because it's kind of something you miss if it's not there in your life. And you have to you have to keep it up. You have to actually put the time and effort and energy into it. So yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
guess it can in a sense be like a relationship. Yeah.
So from my perspective, it's actually there's a lot of similarities, and it depends on levels, right? When you meet somebody, when you meet your significant other or somebody who's a potential significant other, there's an awkward phase, and then you get into a groove, and then everything is pretty much smooth sailing, but you have to put in time and a commitment to it. Like you have to maintain it, so to speak.
right.
And in a combat sport like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's very personal. You meet a coach, and if you want to go all the way to black belt, you have to be with that coach or somebody in the affiliation or whatever for 10-ish years. You know, you have to build relationships with different people over that course of time to maintain good training partners because you can't train BJJ by yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you need somebody else. Say again.
You can you can use a grappling dummy. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, but you could use
that that's like a that's like an equivalent to a
that's like
um,
equivalent to a sex toy.
exactly. Yeah, there you go.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
but you all get what I'm saying. I've known you
Yeah.
guys what 4, 5, 6 years. and
Yeah,
we're just
And
about, and yeah, and we're all friends on top of that, but we talk to each other, and especially when we see each other in the gym, we make sure that we don't get hurt, even though Wale, out of everybody on this podcast, is the only person who's actually hurt me. And,
Yeah, I don't remember that.
yeah, I'll tell you later.
That's another podcast.
Yeah.
With grievances.
But you have to cultivate, even in a sense of being good training partners, there's still a relationship component there, because you have to be committed to showing up to train on a similar schedule, so your times can overlap. You have to make sure you're a good training partner, you don't hurt your training partners, so that they come back to train with you some more. And it's the same thing with dating. You can't go on a string of bad dates with somebody and expect them to agree to go out with you again. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So, and at the same time, going back to BJJ, you can't be a complete prick and expect a coach to want to be your coach for a period of time.
this is
You
true.
know,
It
like,
kind of goes back to what we are talking about before, also, where you have your training partner and you happen to see them training with someone else.
mhm, yeah,
So,
or like I always joke about this, where like at Pentagon on when I used to work closer to that gym on Tuesdays and Thursdays, a lot of times I would go and stretch before the no gi class, and then right as it would start, I would leave. So Monday or Wednesday would come around, and I'm like, hey, I haven't seen so and so. I wonder what happened to them. And then on Tuesday or Thursday, I'd go and stretch and sit there, stretching myself out. I'm like, all right, having a good time, seeing the guys rolling in, talking some trash to them. And then I catch eyes with that one training partner that I missed that previous day, only to feel betrayed because instead of doing gi, he's doing no gi. And it just stings a little bit, you know. Yeah, I'll put some theatrics into it, but yeah, it's like, if you have an agreement with somebody, hey, let's go do gi on Monday. And they're like, cool, I'll see you there. And then they don't show up. And then you see them at no gi.
Yeah.
It's a little suspicious, you know. But it's just, at the same time, if you're dating somebody and you're like, hey, meet me at this restaurant, cool, see you there. And they stand you up. And then
Yeah.
a week later,
it's the same feeling. Yeah.
it's more in the case of a relationship or dating, it's a little bit more of an intense feeling, but it's also a
Yeah.
negative feeling. But when your training partner goes, to no gi, when you agree to go to gi, it stings a little bit, but it's not like a super intense hate feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. At minimum, I'm just gonna make a joke about you on a podcast at like 9:30 at Friday. But anyways, yeah. But also, oh, go ahead,
yeah.
Frankie. Sorry.
No, so what I was thinking about is like, man, you know, like Thomas said, from the beginning, that's like your first relationship. Like not first relationship, but that's when you basically start a relationship. That's where you're going into white belt and stuff like that. And when you get banged up and you get into, beat up and going into these competitions, people shy away from that, and then they stop coming. You're basically breaking up with BJJ there, and it's almost like in a relationship. You gotta put in the time, but yeah, you're gonna get banged up and arguing and stuff like that. But that's where the relationship ends, and everybody stops at white belt. How does a relationship keep going through the belts? Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to what is your ultimate goal for being in this sport, taking BJJ. What's like your ultimate goal? And like, for example, and that can correlate to like a relationship. Like, when you start out dating someone, you eventually ask yourself, what's my ultimate goal? And usually
Yeah.
the ultimate goal is to be with that person for the rest of your life, usually.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing with BJJ. It's like, if you're going to sustain that relationship, you have to have it in your mind that you're going to do BJJ for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
as long as you can do it, and as long as you can physically do it. So yeah, I think that's also something important to keep in the back of your mind. Is like, you may have like a horrible week or a horrible month, but in the back of your mind, if you keep in the back of your mind, like, look, this is my lifelong thing that I'm going to do, then that's how you're going to sustain yourself through the belts.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like when it comes to those things, it's very like what I'm just basically looking for is BJJ like a relationship, like with a significant other, right?
Yeah.
So I think from my observations, as Pentagon's gym dad, like I hear a lot of stuff this in terms of how people feel at the gym in terms of BJJ, and a lot of stuff about like their dating life, which I don't really want to hear, but I'm not going to be like, hey, shut up, I don't want to hear this crap right now, because sometimes people just need someone to listen to, just somebody to talk to. And if that helps them out, fine, talk to me. But it sounds like a lot of people, especially a lot of younger people, and well, let me rephrase, a lot of people, even our age and younger, are not dating with any kind of intent. They're dating for fun, which is fine. Well, let me finish. I have a point, which is fine if they state that up front, right? Just like if you have a training partner who's a new white belt, he comes in, he's all gung-ho, he may be a spaz, he may not be a spaz, but then you put some time into him, you try to help him out, and then he disappears. It's kind of like the same concept. What was his intent on trying out a combat sport? What was his intent on trying out BJJ? If it was just for fun, cool. But that puts a lot of the other people who have been in there long term in a bad position, because the time that you've put into helping them out, is it a waste? Like, did it help them in some context? You never know.
See, I believe differently because I think if you're going to be committed to the sport, be committed. And I've learned that the hard way because I would come in here and there, here and there, here and there, here and there. And that's basically me, just going around and, so to say, like, date a bunch of people and not really have a good foundation. But if you stick to it, like in a relationship, if you keep putting the time and effort to it, then it becomes something. So if I know somebody that has been there a long time, like Thomas, I'm going to stick with Thomas, and like hopefully this relationship of my BJJ will keep going strong, and it has with the teammates that I have now and the coach that I have now. I've been more consistent to BJJ. I've been getting better, and me last year compared to me now, I sucked, and now I'm getting better, and I think that's the relationship that I love about my team, is that even though I've been through some hard times and some tough times with Thomas and my team, at the end of the day, I came out like positive. I came out on top because look, I just won the first tournament. I came in third place in a tournament, which I didn't even think I was going to place, and I got a straight. So that right there was the hard work and dedication to my team. So when it goes into a relationship, you need to find that person that's willing to take that time to be there through the tough times, kicking your ass and getting your ass beat, and then at the end of the day, succeeding to something. Yes.
Well, going back to what you were saying, Thomas, I think a lot of times people don't know what they want when they come into BJJ. When I came in, I was like, I don't even know what this thing is. I just like, this looks fun, and let me try it out. And I think it's okay if people try it out and that's not for them. It's not for them. At least they tried. We've seen several people come into the gym, try it out, and leave. Like no fault of their own. But I think like what you were saying, Frankie, is if it is something that you try out and you enjoy and you want it to be long term, then you need to stick with people who are long term. You need to stick with those lifers, you know.
Yeah.
Also need, just like a relationship, you need to like how in a relationship you need to have friends that support your relationship. The same thing with BJJ. You need to have friends that support your sport, you know.
Yeah. But Wale, didn't your wife? She did a BJJ at one point in time, didn't she? At least for a little bit, right?
No, she's like, she's like, it's not for me. It's funny because I tell her, you know, I keep trying to convince her to go into to train, and then I start telling her about how you get sweat in your eye and like you get people crossing your. She's like, you're not selling this. But yeah, she has her own thing, which is cool. But like what I love about, you know, our relationship is that, you know, she supports me with BJJ. She knows it's something that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And like she's there when I have competitions, if she can be there. And like same thing, she does soca dancing. She's like Caribbean dancing. She's like part of a dance group. Same thing, like I support her doing that, and you know, whenever she has events, I'm there supporting her. So it goes back to like, you know, you got to find someone who's going to support you.
Yeah, that's a good that like Jordan's wife. Like what did Jordan said, right? He was like, "Babe, BJJ is gonna be with me, and when you're here or not, it's good." And she's okay with it. And she, you know, she's okay with it. Well, we think, you know, she's okay with it. But I think that relationship there is like when you have those, oh babe, I support your hobby, you know, or babe, I'll support you. It's those things that make a relationship strong, I think.
And the thing too is like, you know, like with Jordan, he's been doing judo and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like that's absolutely true. It's always going to be in his life, and you know sometimes it's martial arts or BJJ or whatever your hobby is that gets you through that breakup if the person ever breaks up. So that's like why it's so important to keep it in your life.
Yeah.
So one thing I think with significant others, a lot of them have, from what I understand, whenever there's a conflict with BJJ, like whenever somebody tells me, yeah, my wife doesn't like me coming here, it's usually because the wife has never done anything where there's like such a commitment. You know what I mean? In order to get good at BJJ, you have to go at least 2 to 3 times a week.
Right.
You know, minimum. I'm not going to say who, but somebody had somebody's wife at Pentagon got mad at them for going 2 times a week. You know, she wanted him to cut back to once a week. But you know, that's a balance that needs to be maintained and discussed. Because if you like something like, if you like a combat sport like BJJ, you need to practice it in order to get better and to progress. And at the same time, there's like there's a mental component to it, because like Wale stated earlier, if you don't do it, you miss it. You know, so.
And okay, so I'm going to get a little bit personal here. So I used to go to Pentagon, and I really fell for somebody there. I had to leave so I can basically date a person, which was fine and whatnot. But and I stopped training for a little bit. So I was like, okay, I'm fine with this for a little bit. But deep down inside, I was like, man, I'm really missing hitting something. I don't really miss rolling with something. And then the whole pandemic happened. And then it got really, really bad for me when it came down to that. And it sucked because it felt like I broke up with one of the things that I love, and that's martial arts. Because I love martial arts. Don't get me wrong, I like all kinds of martial arts. But when I had made that disconnect, man, that was one of the toughest things I ever did in my life, man. And then along came Sugi, and he scooped me up and basically got me back into the rhythm. And now I am at Sugi's training, 2 to 3 times a week, hopefully. And and this is where I thank Sugi and I thank the team, because they accepted me, and I felt like, oh man, I got my girlfriend back, pretty much. So you can say,
that's a huge component that a lot of people seem to have. Like there's a missing sense of belonging, like a missing sense of acceptance that I think a lot of people miss, or that a lot of people need rather. And when you get into an environment like a jiu-jitsu gym, for example, when you're in, you automatically have these friends that, at least on some level, want you to show up, whether it's because they want just an extra body there to choke and beat up, or just because they genuinely like you and they want to see you around. So
that is the worst, when you use it. Oh, my buddy's here. Now I get to really turn up the volume and hurt him. Yeah. He's okay with it.
Oh yeah. Tell me how I know.
I kind of also going back to what you were saying, Thomas. The whole thing about significant others not liking their partners going. I think that's not necessarily just the significant other hasn't done something that's just committed, but it's also a matter of conflict. Like, if you have someone you're dating or someone that, is your partner, you should train BJJ, but you shouldn't spend a lot of your time, like most of your time, training, because you still need to balance.
Exactly.
To balance time with that person.
Yeah.
Because if my wife was out doing her thing, for most of the time, and I'm not getting the personal time with her, that's going to be a problem. I think it would be a problem in any relationship.
No, of course. I think I may have stated somewhere in there, or may have failed to state, that you need to maintain a balance with that, and that goes along with it. Like I won't say who, but when I started at Pentagon, it was actually, well, I will say who. Sarah's friends with Vivek. I wanted to do judo. So, for years I wanted to get back into judo because there was something missing, and it was bothering me. And I figured out what it was, and it was because I missed the camaraderie and the practice of judo. So she's told me about Pentagon. I went and tried out, and she only wanted me to go once a week.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then I was like, well, no, I need to go at least 2 times a week.
Yeah.
So then
you don't want your partner being controlling, but yeah, you still need to be fair. Be fair. Spend time with her. Spend time with that person.
Yeah.
I made those mistakes where, I was so into the martial arts that I stopped dedicating time to my significant others and whatnot, and then and I see it now that I'm older. I see it. Like I needed to spend more time with those, like even it out.
But
yeah, like 3 times a week, like that's what 3 hours. That's I think that's a good amount of time. Like right now I do like maybe about 2 hours, but sometimes I do afternoons and stuff. Yeah. So it's just a matter of figuring out carving out time for your significant other. Because like I sometimes go in the afternoons so that I can have time for my wife in the evenings,
Yeah, both of us used to go to that noon competition class with Levi. It was me. Was it me, you, and somebody else, or was it just me and you? But it doesn't matter. But
I remember going to those. Those are
those were fun. Those are tough
But
too.
Also, yeah.
So, ladies and gents who are in a relationship out there, make sure you give some time to your significant other so they can train.
Also, I'm not gonna say any names, but if you do have a significant other and you introduce them to BJJ and they like it, make sure y'all have a discussion first about what occurs if you break up, because nothing is worse than having two training partners who are exes who hate each other.
Yes.
Not fun. Do
Not
not
fun.
recommend. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a good hobby, man. It's better than going to your husband going to a strip club or what, or your wife going to, a book club.
But that was one of my talking points, rather, when this became an issue with me going more than once a week. I was like, I could be doing this, and you know exactly where I am, you know exactly who I'm with, or I could be going out to U Street in DC, and you don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I'll come home at 4 a.m.
Plus, it's a good hobby. We're getting in shape. We're learning how to protect you.
Mm-hmm. And we get to talk trash to the younger guys. Like, it's awesome.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think BJJ, it is an intimate, sport. It's like you are all up on somebody. So it's very, I mean, I think it's very much like a relationship. It's like you got to maintain it. You got to set boundaries. You have to, you have to figure out a good balance between your life and BJJ. Because, I mean, also you're a single person, you're full on want to do UFC, and you can train every day, for several hours. That's your thing. But if you have someone in your life or you have other things in life, then you need to set that balance.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Wole, to the relationship.
I think balance itself, no matter what it is right now, is something that a lot of people don't know how to achieve. Just having a conversation about, hey, I want to do this. I want to train 2 to 3 hours a week. What do I need to do to get that from us?
Right.
Like, just that simple conversation, whether good or bad, if those conversations could go on, and if those conversations could go to completion and some conclusion come from it, a lot of stuff, both relationship wise, no matter what the subject matter is, could be resolved.
Yeah. I agree with that too, because everybody wants instant gratification, right? When you're dating, you want this person to love you. You want this person to like you. You want this person, blah, 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 or we're ready to go on to, the sexual phase and stuff like that. And that's when slow down, take your time, get to know. And this is like how BJ, you can't just go white belt, blue belt, and all that. No, take your time, learn. And if it doesn't work, make an adjustment.
Yeah.
Do something different. Don't be doing the same thing over and over, because you're never going to get better.
Yeah. And that's why I tell people who move to a new area and have to find a new gym, like go to more than one gym, take a class or two, see how the coaches are. If you like one coach more than other, try to go to that gym, because just like getting to know a new girlfriend or whatever, there's a period where everything is all like nice and shiny, but when it comes down to the nuts and bolts of it, maybe this person doesn't work out for me. Maybe this coaching style doesn't work out for me. Maybe that coach is awesome, but the rest of the guys at this gym are complete trash.
Right.
There's so many similarities between.
Oh yeah.
This is nuts. I never thought about this really.
So going back to balance, I think that, what's kind of made things worse is a pandemic, and it's like upheaved everyone's life. And I think a lot of people are trying to search for that balance in their life. And not just having a conversation with your significant other, but having a conversation with yourself about like, what do I need to do to achieve balance in my life?
Right. And I think that's what people forgot. It's like,
Yeah.
man, let me look at myself first before I go jumping into something. Let me see my mistakes, what's wrong with me, what I've done wrong, and then go into the relationship. Same thing as in BJJ, once again, take your time, learn these moves, learn these techniques, learn these, drills and whatnot to make you a better person.
Yeah. So, question: do you think that the fact that doing BJJ, having the patience to progress through belts and to learn stuff and having, the tough times and overcoming it, adjusting and all that, do you think that that translates to a relationship? Do you think that that makes you a better person in a relationship?
If you realize it, it will work. So if you like, okay, BJJ is not going to help me in my relationship, but if you take martial arts like BJJ into the aspect of relationship, then it works.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what people forget, man. People forget the baby steps.
Yeah.
So
it's as cliche as it might sound, it's a lifestyle thing. It's
right.
If you to doing martial arts for the rest of your life, or as long as you physically can, or even not even physically can, as because it's a mental aspect too. If you commit to martial arts for the rest of your life, then you also have that mentality that you can apply what you've learned in martial arts to anything in your life, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. However, as I've learned, there's a huge caveat to that, and that is if one of the parties that you're involved with is an extremely unbalanced person, no matter how balanced you are, it's going to be rough.
Then yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you could
even though you might like the person, you might love the fuck out of that person, and man, I care for you, man, and all this other stuff, and but sometimes you just gotta cut that cord sometimes, man, because you don't want to get injured in the long run, and then you can't finish, you can't go to black belt, Sometimes you gotta cut ties.
Yeah, go ahead, Wole. Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, I think the older I get, the more I realize that, every day you're getting closer to your expiration date. And it's just like, you need to do what you need to do for yourself. And as long as you're not harming other people and you're not like, dick or anything to any other people, you need to do things in your life that enrich your life and that you enjoy doing, and also like, enrich other people's lives. It's time is a commodity that we take for granted.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, well, I mean, you were 40 plus, it seemed, I don't know about you, but for me, it seemed like a blink of an eye. All of a sudden I'm 30. Now I'm 41. I'm about to be 42, and I look around and I see a lot of people, like, in my opinion, kind of squandering their time on this planet. They're not improving themselves. Like, okay, you have a bad temper. Not you. I'm just saying, in general. Person A has a bad temper. Are they working on it? Person A got fired from their job because they lost their temper and cursed somebody out. Are they working on it? Person B has no patience at all whatsoever, and it's causing problems. Are they working on it? In BJJ, just like a relationship, there's always something that you can work on. And as long as you keep working on it, you become a better person, no matter what the outcome is. If it's in a relationship, for example, if your significant other breaks up with you, well, the time you spent improving yourself while you were trying to move forward with that person hasn't been wasted. You know, like I all three of us have gone through weeks in BJJ where we could just annihilate it. You know, no matter how good we get, there's always somebody who has our ticket punched. And I know Frankie asks me questions about stuff. Wale, I've helped you figure things out. We sit down and we figure out how we could have countered whatever it was that was giving us problems with that one person.
Right.
So, you know,
I think so BJJ, it's you gain that introspection. You know, it's like you're saying. You know, there's a move, you tried something, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? What could I have done better? You ask questions. You know, you question yourself. So it's like I think that definitely translates over to relationships and just life in general. You know, something is messing up in your life. Why is it messing up? What could I have done better? How could I, you know, how could I do things differently if this happens again?
Right. Also, on that note, gentlemen, I have bad news.
No.
There is a blue belt at Dallas who is an absolute monster. Short. No.
Yeah.
I thought we were cutting this short. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm not done yet.
Yeah, I have to wash my hair. I have to go. No. No, I was saying like
blue belt that's a monster at Dallas.
Yeah. Like I every time I see him, I roll with him.
Fresh blue belt?
No, he's got like 2 stripes.
Okay, never mind. Because I think he just promoted a blue belt. I think that's the guy you're talking about.
No. I know who Dollar. Yeah, not one of those guys. But yeah, there is no defeating this dude. Like I'd have to invoke the strength of Sugi and like the Olympic level power of doom to defeat this guy. But like I sat there and I was thinking, how could I have done these roles differently? I couldn't think of anything. And I find that like kind of funny. You know, it's like a chess match where there doesn't seem to be a solution. But I know the solution's there. It's just taken me a while to figure it out. And that's just like, you know, sometimes like
you just got to take a step back sometimes.
Right. Yeah. And relationships are the same way. You know, there's always a scenario, situation, argument that you just cannot get out of, you can't resolve, you can't fix it. Yeah. So,
but sometimes that's where you just, hey, I think we need to take a break for a little bit. Not break up, but we need to take a break or separate from each other a little bit. You go do your own thing and then come back and then figure out a solution. You know?
Yeah, that kind of sort of happened to me today. Like I was rolling with Sugi and, you know, we started in back mouth and kept on, you know, destroying me. And I mean, I know the basics of how to do it, but afterwards I was like, okay, what did I do wrong? What do I need to do? And he was like saying, you know, make sure that you have control the hand. So obviously if they're choking, you can't do anything, and then scoot into. I mean, it's stuff that I've learned, and I just kind of needed that refresher. And then I kept on getting in, you know, like maybe armbarred or something. And I realized, I stopped and thought about it. I realized I'm doing the same entry every single time. So it's just like, you start from knees. And it reminded me of something Isaac told me. It's like, there are multiple ways to pass someone's guard. So he was basically telling me, you know, this was a while back, he was telling me, you know, don't do the same thing every single time. So now when I go back, I'm like, okay, I need to change it up. Maybe I do Toriano pass, or, you know, I do something else, or a pull guard or whatever, you know.
It's like you know, that's strategy, right? You know, and there's multiple ways to attack
us. Mainly because I'm just lazy, and I'm just like I really need to work on doing things differently, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, again, there's a crossover between BJJ and relationships. Like when you're rolling with somebody, you know, in my mind, there's multiple ways of attacking someone. You can go straight forward, left, right, over, roll under. But the only option that you really don't want to do is go backwards. But there's specific moves.
Holy shit, Thomas. Go ahead.
What did I do?
us right
Oh,
now.
sorry.
You know, never go backwards, right? So in relationship, never go back.
Never go backwards.
We go forward. We go side, left, right, but never go back.
Right.
But
You could go side.
but there are techniques where you have to go backwards in order to advance, right?
Yeah.
And same thing with relationships, right? No matter what you do with someone, they're just not gonna. There's scenarios where they're not gonna have it, and the worst thing to do is to continue trying to attack left, right, under, whatever, and you risk pissing them off. So the best thing to do is just disengage, retreat.
Yeah.
Be like, I'll be over here. When you calm down, come see me. Okay, good. You know, but
Yeah, I guess backwards in that sense makes sense. I would say you gotta think about what worked in the past, or like, you know, you gotta think about what didn't work in the past and adjust based on that.
yeah. I mean, in a really odd sense, combat sports and warfare is basically just a violent relationship. You know, you have to use tactics to figure out the other person, and then you have to use different techniques in order to get what you want out of it. As long as it's not murder or death, like in a warfare. But
I think, like, you know, take your time, be patient, but keep trucking forward. Make sense? So like, like, okay, let me take my time. You know, like you guys said, like, man, time flew by, right?
yeah,
Sometimes you need to slow things down to see a better picture, or a bigger, you know, or an avenue. Like, hey, that right there, that little slight movement right there, or that little push, or that step that made the biggest difference. You know, like in my tournament, I was just watching the video over again, and you know, I did everything with the shoulder pressure, and all that Sugio said is like, get on your toes, and that slight little movement made a big difference. So in a relationship, if it slows things down, and if you see that little slight where you messed up, or where you can get better, fix that right there.
Or you could just play Queen and relax while you're rolling.
No, you can't relax. No, okay, hold on. Now that's a different story.
Yeah, I think that's what another thing I love about BJJ. And like, even this past couple of weeks, I've, you know, gone to like open mats and stuff, and I've learned, you know, slight things, like, you know, for the Kimura grip, there was this instructor who was like saying, rev their wrists like a motorcycle, and that's going to help you twist their arm into a Kimura better. Just like slight things like that. And it's like someone else was telling me, okay, you know, when you're on top of someone, you know, don't try and beat them by, you know, if you're trying to get like a Americana or something, don't try and beat them by just like forcing their arm down, like slide your body across. So it's interesting that it's just like little adjustments can make such a huge difference, but you need someone to, you know, you need to kind of like think back and think about what didn't work. And I think another thing is like that people miss is, you know, take time to reset in your life. You know, it's like, you know, we're constantly working, constantly doing something else, and, you know, taking care of your family, or, you know, just life stuff, and you just forget to take a couple of days off work, relax, and just like reset everything.
Yeah. I think there's a saying. Well, I say this a lot. I don't think it's a saying, but I say it a lot. Always, never look back, but always go back to your past to remember where you came from. And I think, you know, you need to remember where you came from, and from the past, so you can, you know, even a playing field, I guess.
Right? Yeah. One of the most common things I tell people to do, and no matter what the subject matter is, relationships, BJJ, badminton, I tell people to relax, like physically and mentally, you know.
Yeah.
Because like if you're in a relationship with someone, you know, the first couple of weeks, months, whatever, you're in an elevated, what do you call it, state of excitement. You know, you get butterflies when you see this person. Oh my God, butterflies and rainbows and unicorns when you think about them. But that's a very dangerous period because you could miss red flags.
Yeah.
And in combat sports and BJJ, it's the same way. When you're rolling with someone, if you're mentally and physically like excited, and a lot of white belts make this mistake because they don't realize it. You miss options, you miss escapes. You know, you could have an armbar completely set up right in front of you, and they would never know because they're in such an elevated state. So I constantly tell people to relax.
Focus on one thing.
Yeah. Calm down. Yeah. You know, and the reason why I brought up the Queen thing is because the last time I rolled with Frankie, somebody played Queen, and I started singing to him, and
I played the Queen.
Oh, it was you? This is your fault.
Yeah.
But
this is my fault.
Yeah. Like I started singing and like just rolling with him, and he's like, what is going on here? And you know, it was fun for me. But I thought I frustrated him a little bit because I was
a little bit
trying submissions while I was singing along.
See, and that with the relationship with Thomas, like, why am I getting frustrated? Like, let me relax. Let me turn down the volume because he's over here putting in work, and I'm like trying to put in work on him, but I'm pretty much falling apart. So I just needed to relax and take my time and let him sing his Queen, you know, whatever.
But you know, if you think about it, it does make sense. When you start off something in a relaxed state, when you have to pick it up, it's more focused.
Yeah.
You know, if you start off in an elevated state, if you start off tense, whatever, excited, you know, you start off in a state of with a fog of war over everything. So when you do have to pick it up, when you do have to go harder, go 110%, whatever, you know, you have to get through that fog of war to figure out what you want to do. Like you don't see what your options are.
Yeah, and I think that's where I had my issues with my tournament. You know, I saw the glory. I was like, "Ooh, this is nice," blah 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 blah, and like, "Ooh, this looks really good. This is promising for me." And then the second round, that dude just broke the hell out of my heart. I was like, "Oh no." So then I moved on to another person. I was like, ooh, look at this. And I beat him. And I was like, okay, it's great. Fourth round. Oh, that dude broke my heart. And I was like, you know what? This last one, he ain't gonna break my heart. he ain't gonna break my heart. I'm gonna love him forever. So I basically beat the hell out of him.
Yeah, it's like getting an account on chemistry.com or whatever the kids are using these days. And it's
God.
Oh, I got somebody to talk to me. And then you find out, nope, they really just want your money. But not that I know anything about that.
I'm not going down that road with the whole apps and stuff like that. Let's just say I'm against them. Other than that,
I tried a friend of mine a long time ago. He let me use his Tinder app, and I had no clue. I was like, which way do I swipe to say that you like this person, and which way do I swipe? So yeah, so it's like, you know, it was an interesting experience.
Yeah, I try to stay away from those things, man. I'm old school. I'm very old school. You know.
You know, if there was a BJJ like app like that where you could choose your training partner, it would completely ruin the experience. Like pre-choose your training partner for class. You know,
hey, that sounds like a patent there, but
actually, that does sound like.
Write it down right now.
But like,
BJJ and chill.
Yeah, BJJ and chill. No, but like if there was an app where you could.
You don't forget the second J.
What did I say?
No, I'm saying if you make the app, make sure you have 2 J's in there.
Yeah, that would be a disaster. But I mean, think about it. You know, if you had to pre-choose who you were partnered with for drilling or even for rolling prior to a class even starting, like let's say up to 2 weeks, you know, everybody would veer towards a handful of people. You know, you see it in classes. Say again.
Did we just think about
hold on, I can't hear you guys.
Go ahead, Wole.
Oh no, I was saying, and those people get to pick whoever. So if one person has a bunch of people who want them to
Right.
roll with, they kind of get to pick.
Right. It would cause an issue, because I think I read somewhere, like Tinder did a study where they were looking at who exactly the ladies were choosing and talking to for dates. There was only something ridiculously low, like 10% of the total guys that were on the app.
Huh.
So that in itself causes relationship issues. And if the same thing happened to like BJJ, where you could had an app and you could pre-choose who you partnered with, I have a feeling the same thing would happen. You know,
Yeah.
and the repercussions of that, would probably somewhat similar.
I think we have $1 million idea here, Thomas.
Yes, I'll single-handedly ruin BJJ gyms everywhere. No,
Or fix them, or make them great, or make them great. Yeah.
When my daughter was like, I think when she was like 3, maybe, and I was introducing her to BJJ class, and I was doing a couple of moves with her and stuff. So she used to say like, "Yeah, my dad goes to BJ class." She dropped the second J. No, you can't tell people that. You tell them my dad goes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu BJJ class.
Oh, kids, man. Kids are the best.
Yeah. At my old job, one of the older folks that I worked with didn't quite understand when I said I practiced BJJ. So he was like, "So how do you practice BJs?" I'm like, "Excuse me? Like, is this a joke?" He's like, "I don't know. Are you joking?" I'm gonna go back to my desk now. It was totally awkward. But yeah, the second J is very important. Like, you need to make sure that's there.
Yeah.
Or at least the squared 2 up in the corner. But yeah. But it's just like any type of relationship, you have to have good relationships with your training partners and your coach.
Yeah.
Even the staff at your gym, like at Pentagon, if they have a Muay Thai coach, Muay Thai end of things, if you go there and you start being friends with the Muay Thai coach, even though you haven't ever taken a Muay Thai class, then sounds like a winner.
Yeah, have a good relationship in your gym. I noticed that with the people too, man. Like some people, they'll just go in and get out. Like, this is kind of like a community, man. Y'all need to like at least say hi or introduce yourselves like that, stuff like that. That's how you meet people. That's how people met like people back in the day, man. Not through an app or social media, man. That everybody met through somebody were things that they liked or are surrounded to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we just meet by choking each other and simulate breaking bones.
Hey, you're about to pass. You're about to pass out. Are you single? Want to go for coffee after this passing out?
I think it was John Parnell. Like I had him in a baseball bat choke, and I wasn't like, I had it set up. I wasn't like applying any pressure, and he just like looked at me. He goes, "Man, my wife is mad at me." And I was like, "Word? After this, you want to go to get some food and talk about it? Like, do you need somebody to talk to?" And he's like, "Yeah. Can you finish the choke so I can tap now?" I'm like, "Okay." Tap, tap. All right. Start over again. We never did go to Lost Dog, though. I felt betrayed. I was hungry.
Lost Dog does have good food. Off topic.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
I would say common courtesy, when you go to a gym. Like you're saying, it is a community. Just practice common courtesy. And because I get it. There's some people who are super introverted, but this is their thing, and they don't really want to like socialize. But just like if someone says hi, say hi.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. No, I've met people. I've met a lot of women and guys. They're like, "Yeah, I don't want to date nobody from my gym because I love it here or I like it here, and it's just and if I end up with somebody, it's gonna fall apart and I'm gonna have to leave or that person has to leave. And I don't want that." And then I've met some people where like they've done Muay Thai or Jiu-Jitsu and they got married or and had kids. I'm like, holy crap, that's a unicorn right there.
It depends on the person, right? Like,
yeah.
if you're doing jujitsu, for example, you meet somebody in the jujitsu program and you guys hit it off, and all of a sudden, oh crap, you're in a relationship. You need to have boundaries and all sorts of other stuff hashed out early. Because I read on Reddit somewhere where some dude got jealous because his girlfriend started rolling no gi with some other guy, and he finally saw it and he was like, "Oh my God!" It's like, dude, it's the nature of the beast. If that is going to bother you, don't date anybody who does jujitsu. Simple as that.
And then that person likes you. That person likes you.
Just in
I think it comes to personality. There could be people who find someone at a gym and really cool, they break up. And at that point, it just depends on your personality and your maturity level. Because it's like, you can still go to the same gym, but just realize that you're not going to be, things are going to be different, So you just have to figure out, are you going to let that bother you? And if it does bother you, then you need to find another gym. Otherwise, you can roll with it.
Yeah, and just like in life, if there's been instances where I've been just nice to someone, like, oh, there's a new person, they don't have a partner, let me partner with them. And then like it seems like, I think this person's catching feelings. And then I have to, be like, hey, awkward conversation time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's some people, just like anything else, sometimes they can confuse you just being nice and making sure that that people are interacting with them. Because if nobody talks to somebody at a gym for a while, the chances of them leaving are pretty high. But people misinterpret that initial interaction just to get them acclimated to the gym with interest. And that is something that it is so nebulous and so just strictly personal that it's kind of hard to figure out how to avoid that, Be like, hey, I'm just being nice to you because nobody here is talking to you yet. So cool.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think that that's something special about jiu-jitsu and like martial arts, is just that level of camaraderie, and it's it really can throw people off that like these people are so nice, they're because at the end of the day, we're not trying to hurt each other, and that's like the ultimate goal. Is like, you're not trying to, you want to roll and do all this other stuff, but ultimately you're not trying to hurt the other person because you want them to come back and you really, really do care for them. And that can throw some people off. And even to the extent that, you're being nice to someone and they think you're hitting on them. But it's just like, no, I'm being nice to you because, I want you to enjoy the sport as much as I do. And I want you to come back. And I don't want you to get hurt. It's almost like an instantly you care for somebody who comes into the sport,
Yeah. See, and that's my thing when I'm training or when I'm working out or something like that, it's strict. It's because I'm strict. This is what I'm doing. Like, I'm not trying to hit on you. I'm not trying to ask you on a date. I'm not trying to do this. This is me just being nice, and I'm training. I'm not looking for anything right now. And if you think I'm hitting on you, sorry, it wasn't meant to come off that way.
Yeah, so on that note, I went to Dominion BJJ's Cosmic Rolling Night. Like, I go to them somewhat regularly. And there was a young lady there with two of her friends, and she asked to roll with me. I didn't realize that she also was a purple belt. So, because with a black light, you can't see the color of everyone's gis exactly. You can't see the color of their belts exactly. So I thought she was probably a blue belt, but when the lights came on, or rather when I saw her leaving, I was like, oh, she's a purple belt too, for four-stripe purple belt. That explains why she kicked my ass. But I let her beat me up, and then we talked for about 2 minutes, and the next thing I know, she's like rubbing my face, and I was like,
that is
this is weird. Yeah. So like when I saw her leaving, I was like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Like, yeah, sure. And then her friends came up and they were like asking me all these questions. She was like, you know, what do you like to do? What are you doing this weekend? And I'm like, can you two step over there while I talk to her? And they got all excited. I'm like, oh God. So I was like, hey, you know,
Yeah.
I don't really know you, but I don't appreciate you like caressing my face like that. It's a little strange.
Women are the worst, man. Women are the
Yeah.
worst.
I mean, I think, kind of tangent here, but I think it's important as guys to, because like society tells you you're supposed to like that kind of thing. You're supposed to like it when women hit on you. You're supposed to, but shit, if it makes you uncomfortable, it makes you uncomfortable, and you say something about it. It's not, it just sucks that the way society's set up that it tells you you're supposed to like that, you know.
Yeah.
But I've had instances where I think women thought I was hitting on them because I was being nice. And then I have to drop my wife and kids.
Make sure you add that.
Look at this picture of my baby and my daughter.
Yeah. I only had to pull that card once. Yeah, I only had to pull that card once, and it was this guy from Mexico who was visiting Pentagon, and he definitely he wanted some of the light dark chocolate. Frankie was there. I was trying to get Frankie's attention. I was like, help. And Frankie was over there speaking. I think you were speaking Spanish to him.
I was.
Oh God.
Frankie, were you telling him like, yeah, he's like, that's the
chocolate all day.
I was so again, BJJ is a very close sport, right?
Yeah.
So long story short, we were Master Suki was showing a technique from half guard.
I'll be right back.
Okay. And I kept thinking that the knot in this guy's belt was hitting my leg. It was not the knot in his belt. I'll leave that up to your imagination. So when I figured out what it was, I looked down, confirmed the issue, looked at homeboy, and he had a huge smile on his face, and he was just looking at me like, like this weird, like goofy, sexy smile. And he didn't speak English very well, so I was like trying to flag down Frankie to be like, "Hey, SOS." And Frankie's over there like talking to him in Spanish, and they're laughing. They're like, ha, 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 ha. But he's still like got the issue going on, right? So I was like, how do I fix this? So Suki's like, all right, time, get ready to roll. I was like, okay, thank you. Let go of my leg. I'm out. I want to cross the mat and partner with someone else. But
again, like I was saying, jiu-jitsu, it's an intimate thing. Some people take that to the like sexual level, which not cool, or else you two are on the same wavelength. So it can confuse people.
I've heard I think it was Jay, the old Nogi instructor at Pentagon. Me and him had a conversation about that where he said that he definitely knew some folks that were training for less than noble intentions. Like he knew ladies who would come because they were trying to find a boyfriend or something. And once they found him, both her and said chosen guy like disappeared until they broke up, and then the guy came back. Like weird things like that. But yeah. Where the hell did Frankie go?
I don't know. I thought he was supposed to be running the show. Yeah. It's a good topic. It's a really good topic.
Yeah.
I've never really given a lot of deep thought into the connection. I mean, I know there's a connection, I just never really thought about it. But
well, I guess you could say it's intersectionality of combat sports and relationships.
Yeah.
I never would have described anything using that term like that before.
One more time on that one. Run that one to me again.
Well, Lay was saying that this is a good conversation. He's never thought of BJJ or personal relationships in this manner. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. And then I said that I made an intersectionality reference.
Yeah.
So now where did he go? Like everybody's going under tables and stuff.
I had to use the little ladies' room. So.
Oh Lord.
Trying to charge my headphones. I got 10%. That should be good.
Oh, okay. So what's next, Frankie?
Shoot. Oh man. I don't know. I mean, me taking over a podcast is a little bit on the harder side. You're good at this, Thomas. I'm not.
It's fine. So, couple of questions. Have you guys ever encountered a specific situation on the mat where you knew somebody was pursuing someone else and it was causing the other person to be very uncomfortable?
I haven't, but I would imagine that in that.
Actually. Go ahead, Wole.
Yeah, I was saying I have not, but I would imagine in that situation, it's you kind of break them up and check in on the person and check in like, hey, do you want to switch partners? You know,
yeah,
it's okay to do that, or like let the instructor know.
Right.
Yeah. I think I have encountered. I didn't encounter, but I heard a situation where someone was falsely accusing somebody on hitting on with somebody, and the guy was like, "No way, man, I wasn't, not even close."
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this was a couple years back, but that's the only time I heard of something like that. And I was like, I can believe it, but I don't think he's the type of guy like that.
So I think I know what situation you're talking about, but
yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about names off air.
Yeah, we're not naming anybody.
No.
The reason why I'm asking is because while we were talking about this, I remembered an incident that occurred when I had first started training at Pentagon. The whole thing was completely resolved, but there was an incident where a guy was pursuing a girl a little bit more aggressively than he really should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And it started making everybody uncomfortable.
Mm.
So
is this the same situation?
No.
Okay.
There was the one I think you're talking about, and one that occurred like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
6 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. But
no, but not really. I mean, people come in there, man, to really get in a workout and really to learn the martial arts and stuff like that. And then I guess friends hang out with friends, and then that's how they become into a relationship. Mm-hmm. Which I think that's an amazing way to find a person, because you're doing a hobby that you both love, and then you end up friends get into a relationship, and then boom, they're married.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to be careful, I think, because for example, I like to go see movies, right? And if we're cool, I think we're cool, and we beat each other up, and I go, hey, I want to go see this movie. Would you like to come? It's not me hitting on you. It's me literally not wanting to go to a movie by myself. Right. And I know I had a scenario where that kind of went a little weird, but, resolved that. But I was talking to a buddy of mine who goes to Dominion, and like the same thing happened to him. Like he, training partner, somebody that he's trained with multiple years, somebody he knows, asked whoever this person was if they wanted to go see, I think it was like Spider-Man No Way Home or something. And that person like took it the wrong way and started thinking that there was some ulterior motive when there wasn't.
Yeah.
And I would like to hope that my training partners understand, if I'm asking you if you want to do something, it's because I'm bored and I don't want to go by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you would hope that you'd build relationships up with people like that, so that wouldn't be an issue.
But there's some people that take it the wrong way. So be it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's a good conversation.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can. I mean, if Jordan was here and other people were here, this conversation would be a lot longer, and through their experience and their eyes. I just basically tell people, take your time, man. Be patient. Stop hopping around, with people and stuff like that. Get to know somebody first. Really get to before moving on.
So, did you guys know that there are people who hop jujitsu gyms because of whatever reason?
Yeah, I heard that. I've heard of that.
Because you know how they have profiles for grappling industries?
Yeah.
When I signed up for the previous one, even though I didn't have any opponents, I was looking at some of the guys that I had competed against, and two of them looked like they had run through every BJJ gym up in their area in Maryland.
Yeah.
It seems like, every couple of months, every 6 months or so, they're at a new gym. It was a little mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, that's not good because who who has your back? Like right. Thomas, if you told me, hey man, look man, I got some issues or whatever, I'm there like in a heartbeat because you're my training partner and I know like we're good friends like that, And Wole, I known you for a long time. And you said, hey Frankie, man, I need help with this. I need help with that. I'll do that drop of a dime. But if you're around doing so many gyms, you ain't got no homies.
Hey,
you should look at it like a resume, right? If you're if an employer sees that you're jumping around from job to job, it's like, why should I accept you in my gym? Like right. No. How do I know you're gonna stay?
Right.
And it's
loyalty.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with relationships with people. If you're interested in somebody and you know that they've dated 8 people in the last 9 months.
Yeah.
That could be a red flag, or that could just mean they had a string of just shitty significant others. But
6. Come on, 6 people, and you couldn't find out of 6 one. You got issues.
Yeah,
you got issues.
So
that's me personally. Unless you like living that lifestyle, man, then go for it. But don't throw smoke on my ass.
Like you're saying, Thomas, you put that up front. You let them know, hey, this is the lifestyle I like to live. So
yeah, and take it or leave it. One of the few times I went on a date in my 20s was with a young lady from North Carolina who was only in town for the summer. And when I met her, she was like, yeah, I'm only in town for the summer. Okay, cool. Summer of fun. And then caveat number 2 came up. And she was like, this is the situation. All right, I can handle that. And then caveat number 3 came up. And this all occurred within a course of a couple of days. Caveat number 3 I was not cool with. So I was like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah.
But same thing with BJJ. Like, if you have a training partner or know somebody who's hurt like multiple people in a very short period of time, do you really want to partner with them?
No, not even close.
And that's why you should stick around the same gym for a period, because you could see who the dangerous people are. You can see who the sloppy people are. And I hate to say it, but I have a do not roll list. And there's only 1 person on it now because everybody else has quit. But
And people need to stop playing Cupid, man. That's dangerous.
Yeah. You know,
Stop playing what?
Cupid. Like trying
Cupid?
to
The
stop
god
trying
of
to
love. The god of love, right? He's a god of love, right? Cupid.
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, like
Matchmaking.
choosing who to roll with? What?
Like
if I say Wole, hey Wole, I think you should go out today with this person. I think you'd be a good match for them. That's me being Cupid.
Oh.
yeah, like matchmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean in terms of like relationships or in BJJ?
Both.
Yeah, because I've had people tell me, "Hey, you should go roll with that guy," and that guy is like a D1 wrestler who has no control, and it's like 350.
Hunter.
Yeah.
No, I just say I make up my own mind who I want to roll with.
Yeah. No, if Sugi tells me to roll with someone,
do you want to roll with me, Wale?
Oh
no. If you had to think about it, I don't want it. Take it
dude,
back.
whatever.
I
I am looking forward to rolling with you, dude. Like,
now,
because I rolled with you when you first started, and I want to see
right.
the progression.
Oh damn. Well, I've been through a few rolling partners. I got some little experience there, bud. So it's good.
you have to go through some rolling partners to know how to get good at rolling.
No.
Wait, no, that was a bad joke.
Oh, good.
Real talk. Like any of you guys, I would love to roll with like every single day. It's
As long as we have Queen playing, I'm good.
See, this is what happens. This is what happens when I play old rock in the gym. Because I was like, man, what am I gonna play? I'm not gonna play some gangster stuff like we always do, or some heavy metal rock, or some rock and roll. I was like, you know what? Let me go a little bit old school. Let's go some Queen. It's a bad idea because then Thomas turned into like
karaoke machine.
Pretty much.
Is there like some Mongolian music you can put on?
Oh, dude, Sugi did that one Saturday. That one open mat.
Got the people hype.
Dude, you ever watch Star Trek with the Klingons? It sounded like Klingon opera playing in the back. It was actually
Master Mia has I think on his Facebook a while back he was posting like this Mongolian rock band.
Yeah,
and it just sounded so
It was the it's a band called The Who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His son was playing together.
Yeah, they so they covered a Metallica track, and hearing it in Mongolian is it's kind of it energizes you because it's like guttural.
It's pretty heavy.
It made it heavier, which is weird.
Yeah.
But fun fact, they actually got hired to do a track for a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I think
or a video game, something like that.
I saw something about that.
So they're like doing the lyrics in Mongolian, heavy soundtrack, heavy music, and they put it in like a Star Wars scene in a game, I think, and it fit. Like nobody could tell, nobody knew any better. But I was like, is that Mongolian? I was like, it sounded like Mongolian.
Speaking of Mongolian,
have you all picked up any words?
Nah.
Just one. Baksha, I think it was. It means teacher. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Mongolian, they have like a Mongolian wrestling this tomorrow at 3.
Yeah.
Which might join. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how my day turns out. I got the kiddos.
I don't know if I think I'm too broken for that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the invite, man.
Oh, dude. It's right after open mat.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do open mat and stay and watch, they're probably gonna try to get me to do it, but my knees say no while my body says yes. Yeah, like a moth
Yeah,
to the
I
flame.
definitely got to come up there for more open nights. My plan is to come up like maybe every other week.
Okay.
It's kind of a trek for me, but maybe make it a an extended day thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bring your daughter, because I bring Theo and Lars with me on Saturdays. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like regardless of where I go, I still want to stay connected with Master Sugi. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my thing, man. I don't want to let go of Matsugi because he brought me into this world pretty much.
Yeah,
It's kind of wild how, if you think about it, how much of an influence and an impact a teacher has on your life. You know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I'll put this in here. Just being a blue belt, it's amazing how much impact you have on white belts.
Yeah.
Like some of the white belts come up to me and talk to me like I'm even though I'm just a purple, they talk to me like I'm some sort of guru.
Yeah.
And
Dude, it gets weird when I start getting questions from like white belts. There's some white belt I rolled with, and you start asking advice of what should I do here and here. And it took I was taken aback for a bit because I was like, why are you asking me? I don't know this stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I could teach him something. And I always come at it from the point of view like, if it was me, this is what I'll do. Not like this is what you should do, but this is what, from my perspective, this is what I would do.
Mhm. Yeah, there's one guy a couple weeks ago was asking me a lot of stuff about rubber guard. And I was like, I only play that on people that I get
That you love.
irritated by. Yeah, I can barely play it. I play it on one side of my body and I do like two things. But to him as a white belt, that's like an entire damn sequence. So he's like, can you show me more about that? And I was like, no, because you're gonna blow your knees out. Like you are not flexible. Like I'm extremely flexible because of my breakdancing days. But
I'm flexible, which I shocked that one blue belt because he was trying to put me in like a banana split or whatever it was, and he goes, "You're really flexible for a big guy." I'm like, "Yeah."
is that legal at white?
What's that?
To do what?
A banana split? Because I thought that what does that count as, a groin stretch?
Yeah, that's what I think that's what he was trying to do, but he couldn't pull it off because I was like,
yeah,
he looked because he was going pretty hard, and I was like, this is not affecting me at all, kid, because I've done high kicks all my life, so I'm pretty flexible.
Don't underestimate Frank. I think people look at you, Frankie, and think, oh, you're just one of those bigger guys, but they don't know you're fast and flexible.
Exactly. It's like, holy crap. But when people say that, I'm like, I'm not fast. And they're like, no, you're fast. I'm like, no, I'm not fast at all.
Well, I think it's like you're faster than what people expect you to, because people kind of like peg people. You size people up, and like they probably size you up and like, this is a bigger guy. He's gonna move slowly, and yeah.
Also, keep in mind, Frankie, you've gotten a lot better, so your movements have become more deliberate. So people think you're being fast, and you're actually just being deliberate. It's a perception thing.
Mm.
So as you get,
that's a good point.
Yeah, as you get better at jiu-jitsu, people are like, oh my God, you're so much faster. But not really. I've just become more exact with my movements. I've become more efficient.
Yeah.
So when you go from rolling with white belts where everybody's not exactly sure what to do and they're just trying to grab for anything, and then they're going to a movement, you become more efficient into getting to a point where the next step is execution of something that's it takes, instead of 4 or 5 seconds, it takes maybe 1, maybe 2. So just that difference in time, people perceive that as, somebody going from being just regular pace to like, Barry Allen type speed. So I made a comic book reference.
I see.
Mhm.
Is he related to you?
No, Barry Allen, The Flash.
I
The
know,
Flash.
I know.
Oh, I get it. I'm slow tonight.
Speaking of slow, I'm ready to call it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to Planet Fitness. I need to lift things up and put them down. Okay, so Frankie, final thoughts?
Slow down. Take time. Appreciate what you're learning and who you meet. And like always, show respect and love each other, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, any final thoughts?
If you want to make BJJ a lifetime thing, just like a relationship, you got to put time into it, got to put effort into it, energy, take care of it, know when to step back. It's all the rules apply to.
Amen.
Yeah, all the rules apply both ways to jiu-jitsu and to relationship.
God damn, well, he got deep. Holy shit.
What you know about road now? Yeah, so there is a similarity between BJJ and relationships, personal relationships. And in my opinion, the key is mostly just communicating and making it known up front what the expectations are, what you want out of either. If you want a long-term relationship, let that be known. If you want a training partner to not break you, let that be known. If you don't want to be with this person anymore, tell them. If you have a broken wrist and you want to train, let that be known. Those are, I think, and I'm pretty convinced of this, that level of communication is missing from both avenues, and that level of communication is needed in both.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's where things come together in both personal relationships and BJJ. So with that being said, go ahead.
And to add on to that, be honest with yourself.
Yep.
Just like in a relationship, if you want a certain thing out of a relationship, be honest with yourself and be like, that this is what I want, and put that up front.
Yeah. And just the final thing, just make sure expectations are set in both and make sure they're realistic. Don't go after a 10 if you're a 3. Don't think you
have money.
Or lots of money. If you're just starting, you're 3, 4, 5, 6 months in, don't think you're going to go tap a brown or purple belt or even a black belt. Expectations, realistic versus not realistic. Anyways.
Or do that and provide comedy for everybody else.
Yes, because the vengeance will be swift. Unless you're Batsura, in which case there's no vengeance. He's just going to tap you. Or the Samboist. But anyways, all right, guys. This is a good one. I'm going to post some information about the completely unofficial, completely unsanctioned open mat at the end of the month at Leo Dollars. And hopefully I'll see you all there. Anyways,
Yes,
have a good night, guys.
Yes.
Good night.